Lather up those suds and drift away on cloud 9. 'Cause today we're making cloud dice. Ooh, yeah. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Garage Quest shop. Today I'm going to do a tutorial on how to make cloud dice, which is essentially resin dice that look like they have clouds floating in them. I wanted to go for a sort of dusk look, a pink and purple horizon. So I've got some pink resin and some purple resin already mixed up. And I'm just going to go ahead and throw those for about 5 to 10 minutes into my vacuum chamber just to get rid of any excess bubbles. And while that is happening, I got some soap. This is what we're going to make our clouds out of. So I just am breaking apart the soap with a knife. You can do this by hand too. It really doesn't matter. There's not a lot of control to the process. And then I'm putting it in a microwave for about 1 minute. You want this to fluff up and get kind of big and puffy and be warm and pliable. If it's not pliable, then give it another 10 seconds. So now that I've got these big puffy pieces, I just start to shape my clouds. Now I'm going to be putting multiple clouds into each mold. So these guys don't need to be perfect. And if you're going for realism, clouds don't have a uniform shape anyhow. So I just go ahead and shape them however I like. And even when they break apart, if they break in two, you get this nice rough side that actually has a lot of bumps to it. And I find that it actually creates a very realistic look. So now that I've done that, I'm just going to start putting a little bit of this purple resin into the bottom of each of my molds. And that's going to have that dark, shadowy horizon look that I'm going for. So I've got my D2 here, and I'm just going to put a little bit in there and give you a look at what that looks like. Nothing special here. And then I'm going to go ahead and start putting it a little bit into each of my molds for every dice. Nothing special about what you're doing here other than, try to avoid getting too messy or wasting too much resin. Because the next thing we're going to go ahead and do is just start inserting our clouds. So I've got my little soap clouds here, and I'm just going to take a pair of tweezers and start sticking them into the resin that is already inside the molds. Now, when I do this, I do kind of dunk them a little bit, swirl them around very lightly, so that all sides of the cloud are coated in resin. And this is important because particularly with the D2s, which are such thin dice, you don't want to have any bit of the soap touching the edge of the mold without resin coating it. And that's because there is a habit that you can form of accidentally pulling out dice that you can still scratch the soap off of. You don't want to do that. You want resin to be fully coating all edges, all faces of the dice. So I'm just going to speed through this here. You can see I'm putting about 3 or 4 pieces in each mold. Sometimes they break apart, and that's okay because there are clouds that break apart and it just kind of looks more like a chemtrail or a jet trail. And that can have a really cool look too. So not a lot of perfectionism in this process. Now I'm just grabbing my other color, which is this bright pink, and I'm filling it the rest of the way up. Let me show you what that looks like. And it looks really cool on a D2 because you can have this flat surface to really paint a picture with. But there it is. Look at that. That's pretty. And I think I was intending to possibly put a third color in this, but I ended up going back later and just adding more of the pink. So if you're noticing that I'm not quite filling them up all the way, you don't need to do that. Go ahead and fill it up all the way. And if you don't want to go for this dusk look, this pink sky look, you can definitely work with one color or more than 2 colors if you like. You can go for a classic blue sky or whatever you like. I've done a few sets of cloud dice now with different colors, and they all look really beautiful. Another thing I suggest is adding glitter to this. Glitter really does a lot to the cloud look. So now I'm just taping up my molds with tape and setting them on my nifty little homemade shelving unit here, which will go right into the pressure pot for 24 hours. Here we go. And reveal. So that's it. That's my cloud dice tutorial. Please subscribe if you enjoyed it. I look forward to seeing you all again. And thanks for watching.